going on, everybody? My weekly update. I think it might be time for me to go ahead and harvest my carrots. And the reason being, the last week and a half has been pretty hot, and I've been watering the carrots almost every day, and don't seem like it's doing much to handle the heat. So sometime this week, look out for a carrot harvest video. My tomatoes plant is doing pretty good, and as you can see, we have a cluster of tomatoes coming. I think there's about 4 or 5 in this cluster, and then there's another tomato right there. So I've been pretty much keeping an eye on this tomato and to make sure this plant wasn't mislabeled, so don't look like it's been mislabeled. And I'm hoping I actually have some tomatoes from this plant to harvest. I transplanted one of my pepper plants from the plot and put it in one of these galvanized tubs. Also did the same with that one. And so far the transplant went pretty good. Just hoping it won't, die out on me. But I'm keeping an eye out on them as well. Pretty soon I'm gonna have to harvest the dill again. So far you can see there are blooms coming on the dill. So when I harvest the dill again, it'll probably be the last harvest, and I'll probably leave this tub empty till the fall. Pepper plants are doing pretty good, although one looked like it's struggling. They got blooms on them, and hopefully I'll have some peppers coming on them. Been watering them as much as I can so they won't dry out and struggle. I harvest the Swiss chard. I'm going to leave this container empty till the fall. Same with the container with the collard greens. I'll be leaving that till the fall. The tomatoes are a bit struggling in these two containers, and I think the reason being is because of the soil that I used. It's not pot mix, it's raised bed soil, and raised bed soil is a little bit more heavier than pot mix. So in many cases this was a bit of a mistake on my part, but not to say that both of them have tomatoes on them, and they're pretty good size. Although one looks like it's rotten on the vine. So it's something I have to take care of later on. So let's get to that garden plot. Wasn't able to work in my plot like I want to, and it's mainly due to the fire ants that's out here. I was able to find some granules, or I guess like repellent, to deal with the fire ants, and it's going to take a bit. So more than likely the grass will probably end up growing a little bit taller in certain parts of the plot. But I'm thinking, while the granules or the repellent is working, I might as well go in and try to find some 6 mil black plastic to cover about 3/4 of the plot. And as you saw in the early part of the video, I did take at least 2 of the pepper plants out the plot and put it in containers. And I left one out here. It's got blooms on it, but I'm pretty much going to give up on that because the grass will probably soak up all the nutrients and it'll prevent this pepper plant from producing any peppers. As for my tomatoes, there's tomatoes on the plant. Let's see if I can try to find it. There's a couple of them right there. There's some on this plant. Down there. If I can get to it. There it is. And there's another on this one. It should be up here somewhere. I guess it's not on this one. Not yet anyway. But I got some tomatoes coming in my in-ground plot tomato plants. So pretty soon I'm going to be focused more on actually increasing production of my tomato plants on the plot. So if you like what you see, leave a like. If you have questions, comments, leave it in the comment section. That's it for now. Happy gardening.